Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Maya Suzuki from ShinKyu University. And if you've been endlessly buying books, trying to nail your Hara diagnosis and still feel like you're missing something, then this is the video that you've been waiting for. Imagine mastering Hara diagnosis without spending another dime on textbooks. In this video, I'm going to talk about how you can, instead of spending more money, be able to begin perfecting your Hara diagnosis using a simple and easy Iyashino Michikata. We're going to dive deep into critical aspects of palpation weight and a structured approach. So say goodbye to frustration and incomplete techniques and hello to a more confident and accurate practice. If you're interested in learning Hara diagnosis in detail with mentorship and taking out the confusion leading to more confidence in your treatment, then you're going to want to set up an interview and see if ShinKyu University is a good fit for you and your practice. You can find a link for that interview in the description box below, and it's simply just an hour-long conversation where we talk about your practice and your goals and then see if it fits to ShinKyu. In this video, I'm going to do something that I've never done before on this channel, and that is to give you a little glimpse of some of the things and ways that we teach technique, palpation, diagnostic skills within ShinKyu University. So stay tuned, because this video is not only going to be a game changer for your Hara diagnosis, but I believe in order to elevate your results in your diagnosis with your clients today. Now, if you're new here, welcome to my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you don't miss any future videos on traditional Japanese medicine, and of course, give it a thumbs up. Before we dive deep into Hara diagnosis, I'm just going to share a little bit about myself and my history. I've been practicing traditional Japanese medicine for the past 15 years, and I've been utilizing Hara diagnosis, in particular the Iyashino Michikata, within my practice, as well as teaching that practice to my students to help them transition from TCM to traditional Japanese medicine. I've seen personally how much this Hara diagnosis has not only given me confidence in my diagnostic skills and the results that I'm looking for with my clients, but also I've seen it help and benefit my students as well. Now, before going forward, I should also mention that everything that I will be teaching you on this video is not something that I've invented or discovered. I learned it all from my teachers when I was working, learning, training, and practicing in Japan as an acupuncturist and Moxibustion therapist. In particular, the Hara diagnosis I will show you in this video is from a style of traditional Japanese medicine called Iyashino Michi. It is the style I practice. Let's start with a quick overview of Hara diagnosis and its importance in traditional Japanese medicine. In TJM, Hara diagnosis is often considered the queen of diagnostic methods, and it's because the Hara is thought to reflect the state of the internal organs and the body's overall health more reliably than the pulse of the tongue, because the pulse changes when you sneeze and the tongue can change with a cup of coffee. In comparison, the Hara provides a more stable and comprehensive picture of a person's health, and it's really believed that the Hara's response to palpation reveals deeper insights to chronic conditions and to internal balances that might not be evident through other diagnostic methods. So by focusing on the Hara, we can detect subtle changes and patterns that are crucial for accurate diagnosis and effective treatment. And this really makes Hara diagnosis an indispensable tool in traditional Japanese medicine, and it allows practitioners to develop a deeper understanding of their patient's health. It also helps us to connect our Hara diagnosis back to classics like the Shenghenlun and get really useful knowledge from both our herbal diagnosis and our acupuncture moxa. So one of the biggest challenges I see is that practitioners are really struggling in translating what they read in the books to what they're seeing and feeling in their hands. The subtle nuance of palpation, it's really hard to capture that in text. And this is why hands-on experience is really irreplaceable. Feeling the Hara under your fingers, noticing the difference in tissue texture and tension and responsiveness, these are things that need to be learned by doing, not by reading. A structured practice is also equally as important, because giving you a consistent method like the Iyashino Michikata ensures that you approach each diagnosis systematically, and that's going to reduce variability and increase your accuracy. This structure really helps to develop a keen sense of touch, reliable diagnostic processes, and something that you can replicate with every patient on your table. Have you ever felt a little overwhelmed by the information that you're getting in your acupuncture and moxa textbooks? Let me know how you deal with it in the comments below. So the Iyashino Michikata involves a sequence of steps, and it's going to be designed to ensure a comprehensive and really effective diagnosis. Let's go through how it works. Just to let you know, this video is taken from the ShinKyu University's members platform. So this is the first time ever that I've ever publicly released any of my member-only videos to the public. So consider yourself lucky. I'm just placing my hand. If you could take a big deep breath for me. You can see how my hand floats up and floats back down. This is different than pushing. If you can see how the skin then concaves. We don't want any type of pressure that will show the skin concaving in. The initial palpation is quite light and our hands are moving up and down with the chest and belly. Make sure you have proper posture. Usually you have your left foot forward. If you are standing of a right-handed person, you're going to be standing your right hip to their right hip, and then your left hip is going to be about chest level or so, depending on their height and yours. So we're going to start here first in the very first position of the chest. So when we start with the first position of the chest, we're going to be making very, very sure that we're not touching too much on the breast tissue. And then also before you do that, do let them know, say, is it okay if I palpate your chest? And make sure that's okay. Now for this first position, it's very important to be underneath the collarbone here. Anything on the neck is going to feel really not good to any client, right? So we're going to always make sure our hand is below the collarbone here. We're picking up not only tenderness of the breast tissue, tightness of the chest muscles, Jaki, of course, Netsu in this area are quite common, especially with anxiety. If you could take another big deep breath with your chest. Please note that my hand is floating up and down with the breath. I'm not keeping my hand at one constant pressure because that's very oppressive for breathing. Now, my hand is here for a long time because I'm explaining, but really you shouldn't keep it there for more than a breath or two. So position 1. Position 2, we're going to go down the center ren line, tucking in our thumb usually, especially for females. In particular, when you're a male palpating a female, please be very careful about being too handsy on the breast tissue. Position 3. And then we're going to position 4 and position 5. Now on position 4, I am, if this is right here is the end of the rib cage, if you can see on either side, I'm actually below the tissue of the breast and above the end of the rib cage here. Now we're feeling for different things in different locations just because of the location, but in actuality we really look for 5 main things, and that's cold, heat, deficiency, excess, and Jaki. So again, one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Another really important thing to look for on the actual physical chest is how much that chest is able to contract and expand, and also how much the diaphragm is moving. We have to start thinking about how much that diaphragm can expand along with the stomach, and then also observe the stomach and see how much belly breathing they are doing. All right, so now let's move down to the superficial palpation of the abdomen. So positions 1 and 2 are going to be below the rib cage now. Position 1, position 2. Now for position 2, it is just a little bit awkward. You can see I'm kind of bending my wrist in an awkward position. You can also move forward quite slightly if you would like to keep your posture. However, for the Shinomichi palpation in particular, usually you're doing this with the patient on the ground and you are kneeling next to them with your knees sitting in what's called seiza, with your legs bent, and a nice wide stance between your knees. So usually you don't do that. You just kind of gently bend your wrist a little bit. This is one of the few instances where I think it's okay to break your posture. So 1 and 2. 3 goes down the center, palpating, of course, in this area specifically, cold is quite common, and water stasis, blood stasis. Up here, we're of course looking for any excess deficiency along the Ren 12. Here, ShinKyu is a quite common placement. Here, of course, we have Kyokyo Kuman. Along the rectus abdominals, of course, we have our ropiness. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So once we do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 locations, at this point we're now ready to do our deeper palpation. Now superficial palpation is set up so that way you can start to catch the information going on deeper in the body. Ideally, you don't even do the deeper palpation. You can just feel what's going on the surface. All right, I hope you all enjoyed that video on Hara Palpation. In order to keep this video simple, to the point, and something that you can really digest, I wanted to make sure to take out the deeper level of palpation that we have in the Shinomichi Kata. Simply because I want you to be able to memorize this and really start practicing, and I don't want to give you too much information to confuse you. Saying that, there are some very key things that you're going to want to look for when you're checking out the Hara. Those are deficiency, excess, cold, heat, and of course, jaki. Let's go through those one at a time and explain exactly what those mean. Deficiency. When you find deficiency in the Hara, it needs to be something that is not supposed to be deficient. Let me be more specific about that. A upper jiao of the abdomen, meaning anything from about Ren 12 up to the sternum, is considered the upper jiao of the abdomen, actually should be a little bit more relaxed and cool. It shouldn't feel deficient. We don't ever want spleen deficiency, but it should feel relaxed and cool, or stomach deficiency. Saying that, our lower abdomen, the lower jiao of the abdomen, should always feel full, almost a little bit more full and warm than anywhere around this physical stomach area. That is directly juxtapositioned to what we usually see in the Hara, which is a really bloated and tight upper abdomen, right over where the stomach is, down to Ren 12, and a very relaxed and deficient lower jiao. I would say that's very, very common. I also kind of hinted on cold and heat during this explanation. Our lower abdomen should feel really warm. It often feels cold, unfortunately, because of modern day human diet and lifestyle. And the upper part of the abdomen from Ren 12 up should feel very cool. Oppositely, it usually feels hotter above and cooler below for most people though. That's going through and really trying to pinpoint the deficiency, excess, cold, and heat. There's a lot that goes into this, but really try to remember what's the baseline, foundational, this should be perfect abdomen, and then trying to see, well, what's different for the patient in front of me. Jaki is a very different thing that is often not covered in many TCM styles I have found. In TCM, it's often referred to as shie-chi, and pernicious chi or pathological chi or an evil influence or an external invasion. All of these terms really do mean jaki. Jaki is simply a ki or a chi that is not beneficial for our bodies. And whenever we have that, it's almost always associated to pain. We cannot have pain without jaki. I just want to point that out. When you have pain somewhere, you will have jaki. Really easy places to feel for jaki are in the upper chest when someone's anxious. How jaki feels is something I won't be able to go to in a lot of detail in this video, but just to kind of summarize it, it feels like unhealthy chi. It feels, I always describe it a little bit like a dirty subway on a hot summer's day. It just doesn't feel good to your body. Now, it's really easy to rush through the palpation process and apply uneven pressure. Remember, consistency is really key in your Hara diagnosis, so make sure to take the time to apply even pressure and always detail your findings in your notes. To truly master Hara diagnosis, consistent practice and feedback are really essential, and this is where mentorship comes in. Working closely with a mentor like myself allows you to refine your techniques, receive personalized guidance, and gain deeper insights that you might miss on your own. A mentor can help you identify subtle diagnostic signs and improve your palpation skills through hands-on training and constructive feedback. If you found this Shinomichi Kata helpful and would like to dive deeper into mastering your Hara diagnosis, please consider joining my mentorship program at ShinKyu University. Consistent mentorship can take your skills to the next level and help you achieve more accurate results in your practice. Check the link in the description box below for more details. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well for more tips and tutorials on traditional Japanese medicine. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, don't forget to leave them in the description box below. And if you're really looking to continue your journey and master your Moxa technique, I highly suggest that you check out this video right over here.